Morning, this is Benjamin from Legato Finance. I wanted to show you from a automation side why this product could be a game changer for investment firms. I read in 2023 when I was interested in investing, 75% of asset managers or people working in an asset firm really struggle with getting into the digital age. In fact, 75% wanted to basically move most of the operations onto the cloud. And what does the cloud mean? Is it something we see, something that doesn't bear weight? Often we get that impression, but actually it's something far more useful. It enables us as humans to focus on what we do best. So as a CFA, you can focus on that hunch that only you know from experience between why data is perhaps risky to invest in or not so. And then the rest of it, the administrative side, can be tackled by our workers behind the scene working on these big infrastructure systems. Today, I don't want to just explain about buying more infrastructure. That is not going to solve the need. What we like to do at Legato Finance is basically design and tailor to everyone specifically. We found this has worked within the law community where every case was different. We would have workers in the background scraping the internet, telling us when Section 2, for example, of the specific service changes and alerting the necessary stakeholders automatically. And this was a real good communication aid because within the same report that I'd read, 90% of financial people feel left in the dark looking at old stagnated data. I mean, I even noticed that from me as a starting off in investments, later hopefully getting my own amazing portfolio manager, I'm on easy equities and I'm seeing real-time PDFs rendering for all of my investments. So this is what this program does. I mean, this is the annual report, but when you've got let's take a monthly governance report. You can see here that this is for internal stakeholders, but when there's changes, they will update for you and we will make sure that the data is accurate and compliant so that they're not having to sift through endless CSV files and paper trails. And other areas as well for clients is that it can alert different stakeholders like advisors to say, hey, your client is currently having this balance in their portfolio. Have you thought about advising them to rather weight it slightly differently? And go, I won't go into details, but and it's just so that they can get more return. And so it will trigger a action to that specific stakeholder, whether a junior advisor learning in the process or a senior person with way too many clients. And then it's also able to have the client-facing side where it sends these automated PDFs or interactive dashboards out to every client so that they can see a similar dashboard to what on the last video, which was basically this type, right? So they like this, depending on the generation that we're dealing with. Every generation likes communication differently. So our job is to automate certain processes and basically do pilot programs where we can check where is the industry going in showing the data and how do clients like it? When do they want it? What's the cadence that they want to be told these things? If not at all, then we shouldn't spend money in this area, but rather spend it in another area. So there's a few tools that we're working on. This is early days for some of the features because we like I mentioned, we are currently running in the law space, so we're very used to doing audits. This is a basic audit, and it comes straight from the database that we have, and you can also import, and you can basically import CSV data, and then be able to review. Okay, is this necessary? Is this correct? I'll just show you also an idea that we also had that when you're changing a section, it will also be recorded in the audit section. And you're able to preview that section. So once you changed it, you'll see what it looks like in the actual annual report or monthly report. You can see here. So you're not just seeing like some random blank website. You're seeing what the end product will be for people downloading this on your website and customers. As well, I also wanted to point out some people, especially in Jersey, when I did a few interviews where I've worked before, Jersey Channel Islands, they mentioned about the idea of trust in data. So a lot of the data is stored on known legacy systems like AWS, Google, and we basically tailor to what the risk department has already chosen for that. And then from there, we're able to basically create safe links and contracts from the certain providers who basically cover certain data protection acts and so forth, depending on the region. So no one is the concern about that. However, there are certain parts to this program that aren't necessarily exposed to too many people, and it takes specific data that would be public anyway. So we start with public data that would be shown within a certain period, and that when I know that you can't disclose public data of shares before it hits the stock market, for example. So there's specific rules where we tailor for that, and we just check that, okay, well, this will be released then, and this will be released then. So we have a thing called phase gates, and they help us just to de-risk and stop that from happening. And there's a visual example. Just need to just do this, and then so our phase gates would be under here, and quality gates. So you see we've got pipeline gates that basically monitor everything within the pipeline and explain where the data is stored. And then this is also downloadable into report to show, for insurance reasons and whatnot, where data is. And assurance, insurance and assurance. I love those two words. We've also got this is more technical, but it's basically a monitoring system for the team. If you have an IT person in your firm, they can also be part of this. They'll be given specific access from the cloud, so that they can check for any vulnerabilities as well. But we do obviously offer professional people who work in top companies to maintain and check for security. So those are all the reports today. Have a good day.